Hi everybody, this is Dewey Moss with another episode of What Does It All Mean? And today we are going to be talking about buying a condo versus a co-op in New York City and what's the best choice to get you into your dream home. Please like or subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. Buying in New York City can be incredibly complicated, and that's in part because we have a number of different kinds of buildings that you can buy into. The two most common being condos and co-ops. Now, in my experience, when people first come to the city, especially if they're moving from outside of the city, they tend to gravitate toward only wanting to look at condos. And that's because they've heard that condos are an easier purchase and that co-ops are big and scary and confusing and difficult to buy. There may be some truth to that, but it's important to note that condos make up roughly only about 15% of the entire inventory of New York City, and they tend to be roughly 15% more expensive. So that means if you're only going to go for a condo, you're going to have a lot less buildings and a lot less neighborhoods to consider, which is great if that meets your goals. So that means that 85% of the inventory are co-ops, which means that co-ops are being bought and sold every day in this city. So it can't be that difficult of a process, or else nobody would ever do it. Now, there are a lot of different rules in buying a condo versus a co-op. I'm not really going to go into all of that because that is a topic for a whole different video, and we'll do one on that, I promise. So I'm going to just explain the core differences between the two properties. With condos, you're buying the actual physical apartment, right? Much like you'd buy a house out in suburban America. You're buying the physical apartment that sits in a building that is run and governed by a board of homeowners, right? But you're owning the physical apartment. With a co-op, most co-ops were formed many, many years ago, back in the 80s. There's a company that was formed by the homeowners that is an independent company for that building that owns the building, and everyone in that company is a shareholder. You are not buying the physical apartment. What you're buying in a co-op are shares, and those shares are assigned to a proprietary lease, and that proprietary lease is then assigned to the apartment that you have in effect bought. So that's the structure. You're not buying a physical apartment, you're buying shares in a company that owns the building, is responsible for the building, and those shares are assigned to the proprietary lease that allows you to live in that apartment. So here's the same advice I always give. Get with a great agent who understands the differences between the two buildings, who understands the differences in the process of buying the two different kinds of apartments, who can go over your financial profile with you, really look at your goals, and help you determine which is going to be the best investment for you and your dream home in New York City. Please like or subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time on So What Does This All Mean?